Can you hear me? I'm in the. Can you hear me? Lightbearer, can you hear me?
Okay, can you hear me? Oh, that's why I wasn't added to the
Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, okay, I can hear you now.
But what I was saying is what I want to be answered is the hypocrisy. What has this monarchy done for the world that you have to televise in front of people who have been victimized by the monarchy? You wouldn't do this for the you wouldn't celebrate the Nazis in front of the Jews. You wouldn't uphold a Nazi. You wouldn't canonize a Nazi in America, their funeral in front of millions. I don't care if I have the right to not watch it on television. The point is you're influencing others to think you it's a lie. It's not honesty. It's no honesty, it's no justice. It's none of that in it. If it I mean, I spoke the other day about people having the rights to believe and think and be how they want to be. Yes. But the one thing you would want to be with self is honesty. And we don't live in that kind of world. And I don't expect it out of everything I've learned. So, but somehow this world wants to be a false light. It wants to carry, and I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to speak out against it at every chance, every turn I can. Speak out against the false light. Because, just like the Jews wouldn't allow, and they would raise hell over you canonizing a Nazi funeral for 2 months. I see it as hypocrisy. I see it as hypocrisy because you say one thing and the media wants to make other people out to look bad. But the media wants to, frame things the way they want to frame things. And this is one instant where they continuously frame things. Like I said, this is stolen goods that many people want their stolen goods back from her. And one thing she never did was before she died, she didn't right the wrong. She didn't right any wrong at all.
But the thing is, like Barry, she probably doesn't see anything that she's done as being wrong.
And that's
So
the
there would be,
thing.
it would,
You
yeah,
can't
there would be no
see
reason for
other
her
things
to.
in life as wrong and not see this as wrong. There's no
Right.
way. There's no way. There's no way. And this is wrong. Canonizing. You got to take the good with the bad. You got to show, you know, the bad and the ugly as well. Because the whole thing and you're going to do this, the media is going to do this with other people. And this is, like I said about politics, you know, at this point when you see stuff like this, if you can't understand or see that is blatant and it's in your face, that what's good for the goose is not good for the gander, basically, is what they say. It's all right for us to be triggering. It's all right for us to overlook your atrocities that have been done to your group of people because you're nothing to us, basically. Nothing. Africa is the wealthiest place on this planet. And it's still today the wealthiest place on the planet because without Africa, you wouldn't have no England. you wouldn't have no France at all. France is always frantically back and forth in Africa, making sure that they can keep connections. Because if once those connections break with France, it's over. They're already sinking. They're already gone down. Probably around the 90s, they started going down. France, at least. So you can only imagine. And, it's just not right. And I don't see why people don't see the wrong in this. It's like it's all right for the powerful to do what they please, regardless whether it's triggering to people or not. But it's not all right for you to do anything. They want to censor your voice, censor you on YouTube, tell you you can't talk about the vaccine, you can't talk about certain things, you can't warn people. And I was saying that Trump may not even, people think that Trump is upset about being at this funeral. What for? It's not an honor for anyone to be invited to this atrocities. Actually, when you see your heads of states and you see different people going to this and honoring this, you got to question, should I be supporting them? Because they're not supporting you at all. When they support a colonizer, a murderer, a criminal, a stealer, person that steals, rapes, pillage. And they sit up. That's why I say you cannot sit around and be sane and you allow things to happen to you. You allow people to continuously do things to you, and you just say, okay, it's fine. You cannot be a sane person for that. It's going to affect you in some kind of way in your life when you allow things to just happen, allow people to get away with things. So, to me, this is evidence that they don't give a one shit about anything. For them to allow to want to support and showcase stolen goods. This is all I see when I see her. I see death and destruction. I see colonization. I see white being put above everybody else, other people. I don't see anything being rectified in it at all that you can. She never rectified anything. Now, if she was to rectify before her death, that's something else. But she never rectified her personally. She never turned over the stolen goods we see now back to the people. She never said what my people did was wrong. She never was modest. She never was humbled. So why do you see love and celebration of this horrible death, this horrible person, this horrible monarchy, what it represents? Because what it says is that the people who celebrate, people who attend, they're horrible people. And they want what's good for you. They want what is bad for you to continue to be bad for you and nothing to be good for you. That's what they represent. Because she never, ever rectified anything. She never ever showed any guilt. She walked about, pranced about her family in the name of monarchy, pranced about African people, took advantage of African people who were poor, starving, struggling, suffering. No, no good jobs in Africa. Poverty level, horrible. Never telling the people you can build, you can grow, you can do this for yourself. Never. Only gave them Christianity and various Presbyterian, different sects of churches. But you never gave them truth. And you still feeding a lie. On television, people are eating up a lie every day. This long draw.
I think she fell off. She'll be back. Maybe have some technical issues, but she'll be back. Over on TikTok, there's some issues over on TikTok where white people are upset because black people are saying that they can care less about the queen dying, and I'm one of them. I can care less about the British royalty, the monarch, um, anything to do with white people or England or the Queen. In fact, um, I thought about it should be a celebration for Black people, knowing that this person has died. I know one of the African leaders, he was talking about it as well, and he was saying that the people in Africa should not be mourning um, the death of Queen Elizabeth. Mutombo, I forget what his name is, but yeah, he was telling African people that they should not be celebrating or mourning her death. That if anything, they should be celebrating it.
What do you expect? White people are going to be happy and be upset with black people. They can be upset all day long. It ain't going to change a thing because
That's right.
they can be upset when they celebrate a Nazi in front of Jews in Israel. When they celebrate the death of a Nazi in Israel, then that's what they need to be upset about. And that's what they would be upset about. They don't need to be upset over here because they don't understand this over here. Because they benefited from it. They came on the Mayflower. Oh, we're looking for freedom. Oh, we're looking for freedom from the crown. But yet you're upset. That's it, you see, there's some, and they said that Satan. Let me get on the Bible that they also the hypocrisy of the Bible and them. Because they said Satan would bring, they said the devil brings confusion and is a false light. Thank you. You were right. You confuse me, and you're false light. There's no truth in you, and it doesn't exist in you. Nothing exists in you. When you uplift a lie, like the media is putting out for us, but yet the media would prevent people from speaking on YouTube about the vaccines. I wonder why. And there's so many people who have died since then. I wonder why. You got anything else you want to say?
Like I said, I don't see why any black person on this planet would be mourning her death. If anything, we should be celebrating.
Mm-mm. And this tells you why you shouldn't believe what a Republican has to say or what a Democrat has to say.
Well, I mean, if you think about it though, like
Because
Bear,
they
they're
all
all the
for,
same people. They're
yeah,
all
they
the
all,
same.
yeah, and they're in support. And you know that your heads of states are being invited to this because they can talk about, well, Trump wasn't invited. Everybody hates Trump, okay? Or Trump, I'm sure he's not losing sleep over not being invited to the Queen's funeral.
Yeah, I don't see why he would be.
Hmm. I mean, you got to know that not everybody cares. That's just is what it is. Not everybody cares about this monarchy. But they would put it out there in the media to influence the minds of people with a lie, with lies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Are you there? I think she went out again. So yeah, what was it? How long she been in? 72 years. She's been queen for 72 years, and in 72 years, what has she done but pillage and destroy other countries? So yeah, I can understand why they would celebrate, um, or why they would be mourning her death, but there's no way anyone else on this planet should be. And now I'm wondering what her son, what's his name? Is it King Edward? I wonder whatever he's going to be doing next. His reign is going to be very short. He's in his 70s right now, 80s. So his reign is going to be short, but then it's going to fall to his son, and his son is still fairly young. So I wonder what type of chaos his son is going to bring after his death. 'Cause I think he'll probably be in there probably no more than 10 years, and then he'll be gone. But it looks like Lightbearer has have some issues. It's going in and out. I don't know if you can hear me, Lightbearer, but yeah, you're fading in and out, sister. You showing up on the screen and then you're not. So you might have to end this live stream and start another. I don't know. But I want to welcome everybody that's in the chat as well. Thank you for coming over. I want to thank everybody that'll be watching this live stream on the replay.
Can
When
you
and
hear
where you
me?
can
Can you hear me
support the channel.
now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, anything built on a weak foundation of lies and you know, it can't last. And that's why this uncivilization is doomed anyways. That's why I always say this uncivilization is doomed because it's on a weak foundation. It doesn't stand on anything. And it doesn't uphold what it stands for as true as its truth either. It covers it up. We can see if you were honest with the people, but you lied to the people. Now, one thing I can't stand is false light, influencing minds to think something and destroy their opportunities to make their decisions and their choices correctly. That's one thing I cannot stand is a lie that it interferes with people's life experience and influences into their minds. So when they do make decisions, they're probably not good decisions for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like this one guy said, he says, I'm seeing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that's my thing. Is souls are being lost over lies and mistreatment that is blatantly put in their faces. You know, how can you say, how can you, you know, we got, like I said, politics over here is like, you know, we got the Democrats saying this about the Republicans saying this about the Democrats, but neither one of them have said anything for the people. Neither one of them have said, well, the people don't want to see this on the media. This is bullshit. Not, no, they participate. They take part in it in this. They're criminals. They're criminals. If they uphold all this, they're criminal. Because crimes have been committed. This is atrocity, this is injustice. And no, I'm not jealous of white people. And no, I'm not resentful of white people. But I'm letting you know that I don't like lies. I don't like fakeness. I don't like injustice. And I don't like when you say one thing but represent something else. like I said, the claim is that people came over on the Mayflower, and that's confusion to me. You come over from the Mayflower, but yet somehow today this is honored. This is honored. But I know why, because in England you had nothing anyways. It's just an island. It was too many people. So you had to spread out to kill off the other people that were on the other lands so that you can survive and live. So it's all the same. Those who get upset for you not being upset about the queen, their queen, you should look at them not side-eyed it, but straight-eyed it and say, I see clearly. I see clearly now. Because once there was confusion, but now it's evident and it's clear to see. The truth always comes out. What you represent, what you stand for. Is this Nazi? Because that's what you call it. It's still a Nazi because she's German. Their family is German. They're Nazis. And over almost 100% of Europeans are German. So that's where the confusion comes in. Go ahead, D, and speak. I'll be back. I'll show you.
So yeah, there's a lot of like 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 Bear said, there's a lot of hypocrisy um with these people, with this kingdom in England. It's just another extension of white supremacy, and they're just I mean, it's just they're just it's all evil. It's demonic, like Bear was talking about, and I don't trust those people for anything at all. I mean, it just it is what it is. I never trusted white people. I never will. They're gonna always be about themselves. They're not about um they're not about the planet. They're not about anything but power and money and who they can mess over. It's always been that way. And
Exactly.
yeah, so like I just don't. There's nothing about those people or anything that I would trust or have any respect for.
Exactly. I don't know where my hold on. I don't know where my chat went. Okay, comments. Here we go. Okay. I got it back. Hold on. Let's
Yeah, well, you
see.
having some issues today.
No, I'm on a new computer.
Yeah.
I got a new computer, so
Oh,
hold on. Okay. So I can't show myself. Haven't figured out how the camera works.
okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, camera's right there. The camera's right there, but I don't know how it's saying it's not connected. Ooh, I'm sorry about that.
I think you got to go into the settings.
Yeah, I went into the settings, but I still couldn't see it.
Is it a camera on the computer itself?
It's hooked to the monitor. It goes. You can press it down, and you can press it up. It's the same around. Oh, okay. Well, wait for me, and I'll put it up. Go on. Okay, go on. Don't mess it up. So yeah, that's my spill. Is analyze this whole situation of the media wanting to, canonize this 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 atrocity, this that was done to people. We are marginalized. We are uh, treated as such in this country still. So
Yep.
but then they want to cover it up and say no, 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 no. But yet no reparations, no nothing. But yet they can celebrate this. You see, this is the confusion that we have to deal with. Can you put in the tube? Hmm. That's the confusion of the whole thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's that confusion.
And you said that's what the devil brings, confusion.
Confusion, yes. And it uplifts itself as a false light. And someone was talking about the other day about paying homage to Martin Luther King. Who would name themselves after a white man, Martin Luther? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So that's a double agent. Why should we look, like I talked about this yesterday, when we look at the past things that were done, we can uh, see what could have been done better. Instead of giving in and saying nonviolence, how about not not having your aim at trying to integrate with them? Period. That's my
Right.
thing. Why would you want to integrate with people that don't help, that have given you death, 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 injustice? Why? It does nothing for your future. Look at where we're at now. Look at where we're at now.
I agree.
It really was a lost cause in my mind. I don't care. Why would you put yourself in the way of fire hose and dogs and all of that? Why would you want to sit down in somebody's restaurant and force them to feed you when they don't want to deal with you? That's not honorable. But yet they want to tell you it's honorable.
Can you make this?
Mm-hmm. I'll be done there. Take it back.
No, you make it.
They want to tell you it's honorable. And Yapa was saying for them to see something that's wrong would mean they have any form of morality. We must stop projecting our morality onto
All I have to
them.
do is just put it in the oven.
They don't care. I agree with the brother. They see nothing wrong. I know they see nothing wrong. But see nothing wrong with what I'm doing, what I'm saying. Okay? See nothing wrong in that. That is being able to be a human, to be real. That's what separates the animals. That's what separates the woman from the animals. It's being able to see all sides. And I see their side. And I understand that. I'll talk about that a lot. It's their survival. It's their survival. But yet, when they want to be up, it's a false up. It's not real. They don't have it all. When you can only see one point of view and empathize with that, that's what I'm talking about. Is the people not getting any
Where's my key?
empathy at all?
Where's my key?
No reciprocity,
Where's my key?
no understanding. Go ahead, D. I'm gonna pause myself for a minute.
Okay.
If you want, finish reading talking about what Yapa said.
You know, I mean, I agree with him. You know, he says here that they literally lack the ability to distinguish right from wrong. If you keep looking at them as if they are like us, and to me, that's human, we will never be able to make it make sense. And that's just right. We would just, there, um, make sure, Iapo, he's 100% correct. There is nothing about them that are, that are like us. There's no morality there. There's no empathy with these people. I mean, they're just the opposite, the total opposite of who we are. And if you're looking for them to be the same, and it's like like Ayapo said, it's just never gonna make sense. So, like I said, I'm like him as well. I don't even try to figure it out. I know who they are and what they are, and I leave it at that. You know, you're trying to figure out why they do this and why they do that, and that's what I used to do. I don't do any of that anymore. It's been quite a while since I've worried about, why they're like, why they are the way they are. It just is. And they've been a cancer on this planet since day one. This should have been a black planet. There shouldn't have been any white people on in the first place. It should have been a black planet. He started out that way. Let me see what else he says. He says they don't have the ability to see it right. I agree. I agree with you, man. And like I said, for me, for them, I think wrong is right because everything they do is wrong. But like brother said, they see it as right. That's why I was telling Lightbearer earlier. They just don't have an understanding of how to get along with people. They don't understand how to get along with the planet. And so because of that, we are where we are here now in 2022. And it just amazes me that any black any black person would be, like I said, would be mourning this person's death. So, like I said, man, it is what it is on this planet. Until things change, it's going to be this way. He says, from them to see something as wrong would mean they have any form of morality. True. We must stop projecting our morality onto them. Yeah, because they'll they'll never get any morality. So you can't see them as being a moral person or moral people. So he said they don't care, and then that's true. And yeah, they don't see nothing wrong with what they're doing. Hi, Uppo, man. Thanks for coming through and participating in the chat. I know Lightbearer appreciates it. If you haven't, and I'm quite sure you probably already a member, but if you're not, go ahead and subscribe to the sisters channel. And if you wanted to come up, I'm quite sure if you ask, I'm Lightbearer, she probably would allow you to come up and have a conversation. See, Mr. Private Brain was in the chat as well. If you're still here, brother, thanks for coming through. Anybody that's watching in the clouds, thank you. We appreciate it. But yeah, when I found out that she died, and I don't know when the funeral is, but when I found out she died, I, I didn't feel any way about it at all. I didn't say, "Oh, well, the Queen of England is dead" or anything like that. I didn't care. It just didn't. It didn't mean anything to me. Um, this person's passing, so If anything, it's just one less evil person on the planet. And I thought about doing a live stream about it and talking about it, but I just I didn't find that or feel the need to have to do it. So I didn't do it. But I did get a kick out of the people over on TikTok and Twitter, the black people who are laughing and the white people who are upset about it. So if I was gonna do a live stream, that's what it would have been about. It wouldn't have been about her per se like that. It would have been more about how black people, a lot of black people, understand who this person was and the evil that she brought upon her reign for 72 years, whenever how long it was, and that they seen her passing as a good thing. So that's what I would have done a live stream about if I were to do one. But yes, it's but like I said, for me, I'm wondering what's gonna happen when not her son, but the king, whoever the king of England is now. I'm not sure what his name is now, but Charles, that's what his name is. When he dies, because he's not going to be in there for maybe 10 years and he'll be dead, but then his son is going to have the possibility of having a long reign as king, and what he's going to be doing to the people over in Africa and on this planet, because that's where the concern should be, as black people. Does anybody in the chat know when the funeral is supposed to take place? Okay, so now I'm looking at something here where it's saying that Prince Andrew, yes, he was cooperating with the U.S. attorney about Jeffrey Epstein. See, that's another thing too. All of the children that these people have abused over the decades. Yes, I mean, there's a lot of evil that goes on over in England, and with this monarchy, there's a lot of evil, a lot of um, disgusting things that have happened. And so, like I said, I don't even know why they need a monarch in this this day and age. But that's their traditions, their customs, and there's no reason to try to make sense of it. It just is what it is.
And the same thing goes for them. They cannot make sense for us either on
Right.
our decision to not care or give a damn. And I
But
don't
see,
care
remember
about
too.
them not giving a damn,
Yeah.
frankly,
Yep. I
because,
agree.
because uh, they don't care about
Mm.
the history behind the monarchy.
Right. Right.
And they probably don't understand their own history behind the monarchy, which is one and the same. Survival. This is what she represents, because anybody that steals, kills, destroys They're only trying to survive. And they're trying to ensure that that's an easy task to achieve for themselves. See, that's what I understand, and understand about them. You see?
Yeah.
And I don't sympathize with their ability to not see, because I know they do see. There's no way you can tell me they don't have the ability to see all this. If they can understand written language, if anyone can understand written language and they claim to be high IQ, then this is beyond your understanding. You can really understand this.
Yeah.
You can really understand your own ways, and you can clearly see that false light that they are giving off. They can see that for themselves. They can see the lies, their own lies, their own
But
hypocrisy.
that's the thing though. Like, Bear, do they see it as a lie though? Do they
They
understand that that's
see it
what
as
it
a
is?
crime because they're like, oh, poor Africa. We got to send over some. We got to send over some. What those people, merchant missionaries. We got to send over missionaries. We got to send over millions and billions of dollars to make sure these people get vaccinated. We got to do this.
Which
We
I
got to
wouldn't
do
trust.
that. Huh?
So which I don't trust.
They see that. They see that real well. So if they can see that under a false tense, false reasoning for them to go over and mess with people, then they know better. They know better. They know too much better than this right here. And I'm glad I'm saying something because I've been trying to tell people, come out from these people, come out from everything.
Yeah.
Because if they are celebrating, anybody that's celebrating the death, you need to come out from dealing with, because uh, they are uh, they're representing everything. They're for everything she represented and the monarchy represented, which was putting people under their feet, stealing, raping, pillaging, and conquering innocent people that have been nothing but good to you. Nothing but good to you. That's the reason why it was easy for you to do so. You got
Exactly.
good-hearted people,
Yeah.
and they would always, those played on the good-hearted people because there was people that fought against it, but the people that even fought against it because it was the other half, their arms, which is basically, I'm saying the group as a whole wasn't connected. There was some that were infiltrated, that were sympathizing with the ones that wanted to come in and take and steal and kill. Just like in slavery, we had those in slavery that sympathized with the master and broke the group, and those who fought became weak because the other half was for the master and not for their own team, their own people. That's how good of people we are, and that's what happens to us when we might give it our best at fighting, but we always have people who are double agents in our group, and they would be sympathizers to their group, because that's how good of heart we have as people. Some of us are real weak in that aspect. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm telling you, right?
Yeah, but see, what I've always said though, and I know you fought back about it a little bit, but I always said we have to be as evil as they are to come up from under their
No,
reign.
I never fought against that. I agree with it, but I'm saying I was telling y'all you can't always think in the logic. See, logic is what where they're at. You have to be creative when you come in. That you don't have give them no reason to hold their power against you and make you fall with what you're trying to succeed in. You see what I'm saying?
I turned back the oven on because I thought the food was done.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, but like I said, we should be just as
You
evil
can't just
as them.
go in there without, you just can't do without thinking about it. And you got to be creative. Hold on. Hold on, I'll be
I think light bearers stepped away. So, but yeah, I always thought that you have to fight fire with fire. I know black people are good-hearted people, kind people, sharing people. Most people on the planet are that way. Um, but if you want to take back what's rightfully yours, you can't do that with kind words and trying to understand these people because that's what got us in the situation in the first place. And I think Lightbearer touched on that. Um, so for me, and I've always been this way, is that if they come at you a certain way, that's the way you have to respond. Because if you don't, they're gonna just walk right over because they have no feeling, they have no understanding of just getting along with people. They don't have any understanding of that.
you got to
So
take advantage of their blind spots.
yeah,
You
but that's
cannot let the you can't let you got to know that some of us are in on it with them.
well, yeah, no, I understand. I understand that.
You can't just go in there like they did. You can't go in there like that because, and I still think that's a setup. I think December this what was it? December the 6th or no? Yeah, December the
December,
6th. I still think that was a setup.
what
You
happened
can't
December
just
6th?
go in. You can't just do. That's the logic. That's the masculine mind. I'm just gonna go and barge in and do this because I believe in this. No, you got to have creativity. You got to make sure no stones are left unturned. You got to make sure that they can't make that come back on you in any kind of way. You got to be wise. You got to be, and you got to believe that what you're doing wholeheartedly is the right thing. Because if you went in there with a certain kind of soul, spirit, mind, body, there's no way that you can lose at what your plan is. You see what I'm saying?
And like I said, you and I've had conversations about this over and over, and I just disagree with that because
You
that's
disagree with
what we've
what?
been
What
doing.
about it that you disagree?
Well, that's
Tell
what
me
because
what
that's
I'm
what
saying because I think you're misunderstanding me.
well because that's what we've been doing.
No,
We've
we
been
haven't. We haven't planned precisely. You cannot just walk and do something. You got to plan. You got to strategize. Strategize. You can't just be logical. It takes a certain part of your brain to be creative and see and look at all points, what could happen, what possibilities are.
yeah,
Imagination as well.
like I said, I want to just rush in and do it just like they did. No
And rush
mercy, no
in,
feelings,
right.
no
And if you rush
empathy, no
in,
sympathy, none of
no,
that.
I'm not talking about empathy, sympathy, and feelings. You can have that fire, but when you're on fire, you want to have your mind about you that you got all bases covered with these people so they won't ever know what hit them. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what we've been doing. We've been planning, strategizing, trying to figure out,
No,
and
they're
it hasn't
not.
been working. Starting from the civil rights movement right up to today,
No.
everybody's trying to figure it out how to get along with
Yes,
these
that's
people.
logic. That's logic.
No, that's feeling.
No, that's
That's
logic.
the feminine. That's the feminine way, trying to get along and be kind, and that's the feminine way to do
No,
things.
I'm not talking. That's not feminine. That's actually not feminine. That's not what I'm talking about.
No,
I'm
but that's what I'm
talking
talking
about
about.
when you have a plan, it takes your whole mind. You can't just use one part of your brain, you're going to fail.
Well, see, that's where you and I, that's where we disagree when it comes to that.
So you're going to just use your left brain.
I want to just want to just kick. I
Okay,
just
there you
want to do
go.
what I'm doing. That's what I
There
want
you
to do.
go. There you go. Maybe you understand my children's book that I'm coming out with. Maybe you understand what I'm trying to betray to you,
Now reduced
that
to a
you're
children's
not
book.
understanding.
Blackberry got me reduced to a children's book.
No, well,
Get
it's
anything.
not really a children's book. I got to stop calling it a children's book because it's going to be a everybody's book. That I mean, it's got pictures in it, yeah, so children can understand. But I realized that without the parent, the children will not understand what I'm writing, what I'm talking about. They can get a like a an inkling, but it takes. I think it's going to take a little bit more. It takes a parent to participate with them. You know.
Well, like I said, I understand where you're coming from. You're coming from the feminine
No,
mind. You
I'm
have
not
to.
coming from
It's
the
your nature.
feminine. I'm not just
It's your
all
nature.
feminine. You better believe that.
But it's your nature to be.
No, it's not my nature to be all feminine.
It
It's my
is.
nature to be both my masculine, my dad, and both my mom. They both contribute to my being, my existence. And what I'm saying to you is contrary to what you've been taught or told, those things are not true. It's no such thing because the masculine and the feminine and the in the air is different from the masculine and feminine that we're dealing with in the physical, all right, physical existence. These are attributes that are naturally in you. Like you're a teacher, DOD. That's you. That's when you're on your channel, you're using your feminine energy to get across to people who is right for them and who is wrong for them. Test.
No, no, no. No, that's not feminine.
That is feminine. You don't know what feminine is then, because
I
feminine
do know
is
what
a part
feminine.
of your masculine. It's connected. You cannot separate. You can't separate one thing from the other. And this is not made up stuff. This is
But
actually, if you look at what you do, um, and you're born a female, and the feminine energy, because your energy comes from the feminine energy, which is the air. We come from the
yeah,
air. We're air people. We're souls. So we come from that unseen realm into this
but
body.
like just like men and women, we're separate from each other. The women are feminine, men are masculine. It just is what it is.
I don't know why you call it new age because it's nothing new age about what I'm speaking. This is science. This is the science of you and who you truly are. If you want to fight against that, that's okay because you don't know and you don't understand these things. And it's not my place to sit here and give you pushback or teach you anything. If you refuse to 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 to, to even investigate it, it has nothing to do with sex. When you're talking about the feminine energy and the masculine energy, when you're talking about the brain, But what has to do with sex is your mom and dad, right? And it took your mom and dad to make you. Alexa
It
says she
took
doesn't
the
have
feminine and the masculine.
right to make you
Right.
and make me.
That's it. Right. And the woman is feminine and the man is masculine.
Right.
And we have feminine and masculine thinking as well.
Yes, we do. We have feminine, masculine. Naturally, we have feminine, masculine. The things
Exactly.
that
That's
we
what I
do.
said. Naturally, you are
Yeah,
feminine.
yeah. Naturally, we have these things. You got it. So I'm not gonna.
Wait, hold on.
What?
I've been saying that. And you said I was wrong.
You was wrong about what, DOD?
When I told you that you're feminine, you were born feminine.
But
That's
I'm
the way
not. Okay,
your
feminine, but
mind thinks feminine.
that's not all you got to see about me. That's what the world tells you to see about me. But
No, that's the way you
that's not
are.
all.
Women are
No,
feminine.
that's not the
Or
only thing
supposed to
about
be.
me, though. That's not
No,
the
no,
only
well,
thing.
of course not.
Okay,
But
come on, dude.
we're not
Okay,
talking about other traits.
look. We got the
We're
zodiac
just talking about
signs.
the
All of
feminine and
that
the
means
masculine.
something. We got zodiac signs, and men and women both can be the same zodiac sign. Come on.
Right, but
And that got to do with our insides, who we are as people, our purpose in life, what we come down to earth for. Right?
right, right, but light bearer. Women are feminine and men are masculine. It just is what it is. And we think that
But
way
that's
as
not
well.
true.
Our thinking is different.
That's not true. That's not
But
true.
it is.
You see, that's why we have people confused about their sexuality, because the truth has never came out that all of that does not matter about your physical. It's okay if a man is thinking in his right side of the brain. That's why you see a lot of artists tend to be creative people tend to have that tendency to go the wrong way sexually. But because that's part of this false light that I'm fighting against. Like, they're putting on TV in front of people and influencing people's minds to think that this is the right thing to do right here, when it's the wrong thing to do. But it's wrong by many people. It's wrong by many people. It goes against a whole lot of people, more of a population larger than the white population. Yes, that's what he said. He made man and woman. He made the feminine energy and the masculine energy is what you don't get. And the feminine energy,
Exactly.
you can't have one without the other. They're together.
Right,
They're
but
not
the
separated.
women hold the feminine energy and the men hold the masculine energy.
But what are you saying is the masculine energy? Because masculine energy is a doer, and females are doers as well. So does that mean that are you discriminating and saying that I'm not a doer?
Oh, see, here we go. I know it
Because
wasn't
I
going to take
do have
long.
tendencies.
I
I do
know it
have
wasn't going to take long.
masculine energy within me, and
Now,
a
that's the
lot of
feminine in you
majority
coming out.
everybody has masculine energy in them. You cannot separate the two when it comes to energy. Energy is
Right,
different
see,
from your born sex. Is what I'm
right,
trying to tell you. Your
but
sex
light
has
bear,
nothing to do
that's your
with
feminist coming out of you now.
my what?
That's that's the feminism coming out of you now.
That's not feminism.
It is.
And feminism is not feminism.
You attack me slightly in a
It's
low key
actually
way, saying
masculine.
was I trying to label you something other than being
No.
human?
How can you say that's feminine when aggressiveness is masculine?
Right.
So I'm giving you masculine. Feminism is not feminism.
But it's not
It's
your
not
nature
feminine.
to do
When
that,
they
is what I'm
are
saying.
talking to you and they saying they want things a certain way, that's not feminine. That's not
But like, but
feminism.
that's your, but
That's
it's up.
masculine.
You're feminine. Your being is feminine. Is to be feminine. But
No,
yeah, of course
my
you can you
being
can
is
you
not
can you
just
can you
to be
can you
feminine.
can you
My
can
being
you
is
can
to be my
display
being is to be both
masculinity.
logical and
No,
intuitive.
no,
Yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes.
no. You know, your being is feminist. You can be masculine. You can at times display masculinity, but your being, who you are, you're supposed to be feminine.
Who's to say that I'm supposed to be feminine?
What you mean? Who's to say? It's
I
your
might
nature to be
have a
feminine.
little bit more of
That's
my
why. That's
father
why. You, that's why.
personality wise. If I
Well,
have a
listen, but
little
that's
bit
why.
more of my father personality wise, then who are
Right.
you to tell me that I'm only supposed to be a certain way?
That's the
That is
feminism.
what that's not
That's
right.
feminism coming out of you.
No, it's not feminism coming out of
It
me and
is.
saying that you're wrong to tell me that I'm supposed to be only feminine when
You're
I'm
supposed to
on
be,
this earth and my experience to raise higher is I have to be both feminine and masculine. I have to
but
learn
you
to
don't have to be.
stay in touch and balance. It's called ma'at. It's called balance.
Right, but you
Okay.
don't have to be.
You do have to
That's
be
the thing you don't understand. You don't have to
because the
be
masculine and
both.
the feminine energy has nothing to do with my sex.
It
It's
does.
my mind and my energy.
No, it does have to do with your sex.
It has nothing to do with my sex.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you.
It has to do
where-
with me. What it has to do with my sex, it has to do with me as a female understanding and helping out a man.
right.
Yeah, because I'm
That's
on
the
that level with
feminine.
him
That's the
and
feminine
thinking
side.
that we can
That's
work
the feminine
together.
side. No, no, but Library, that's the feminine side. You said it yourself. You just said it. That's being feminine.
No, it's not being feminine.
Oh, okay. So you
I'm
think that's being
feminine.
masculine?
Okay, I'm feminine, but what I'm saying is I'm also masculine, but masculine
No,
energy
no, no,
has
no.
nothing to
You
do with
can,
my
you can,
sex.
you can, you
I'm
can
not
display
saying
it.
that I have
You
a
can
penis.
display it, but it's not your being to be masculine.
No, I'm not saying that I have a penis. I'm saying that
No, I'm not
I
saying
have
that either.
no. You are saying that. You're
No,
saying
I'm
that my
not.
sex, I have
You
a
said
penis, so
that.
I have
I'm
the other
saying as
word.
a woman, your being is to be feminine. You can display masculine traits at times, but your
No,
being, who you're
no, it's
supposed to
not
be, is
masculine
feminine.
traits. It's not only contribute to what I'm saying is you causing me confusion right now. Because what
See,
I'm trying to
see,
say is
now I'm the devil. See,
what
that's
I'm
feminine.
trying to
I mean,
say is
that's
well, truth has
feminist.
already been spread throughout the land. So
See, that's
what I'm trying to
feminism.
say is truth, and I think men are going to have a hard time.
See,
Black
feminism.
black men are going to have a hard
Oh, here we
okay.
go.
Because let me show you this video.
Now you're looking for a reaction by
No,
saying black men now. Yeah, that's what you're doing. That's the masculine coming out of you because the feminine can't handle the masculine men that are talking to you. So you have to try to become masculine as well instead of
no,
staying in
I'm
your
not trying to
femininity.
become.
Instead of staying in your femininity, you have to try to become masculine to be able to compete or to hold your own, and you don't have to be that way.
I don't think that you understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm gonna let this guy
In this
explain
video,
it
we're
to
doing
you.
a deep dive into one of the most
I'm gonna let this guy
important
explain to you
topics
better
if you
what
want
I'm
a
trying to,
relationship.
what I've been trying to
We're
say.
talking about masculine and feminine energies. And they're not what you think. We'll get to that in a minute. And man, do we got some good visuals today. Look at that 45-minute artwork
I
that I
just
just
catered for the beautiful people like yourself at home watching. And whether you're single or in a relationship, you want to make it better, you got to know this. If you're single, you want your best shot at attracting someone who's like, man, this is the person of my dreams. You better know this stuff. This video is going to have 3 parts. Okay, the
No,
very
wait.
first
Just
one
pause it for a
is
moment. Pause
down
it
here.
for a
I'll
moment.
explain these 3 concepts that you need to know if you're like masculine, feminine energy. What is that? The
Pause
second
it
part
for a
is
moment.
we'll explain
Okay, hold on.
even further
Hold on, let me
what
get
the
there.
heck those 2 things are. And then the third,
Yes.
So now we're gonna have a colonizer try to explain to us what the masculine energy and feminine energy is. Is that where we're at today? Is that where we're at today?
No,
Like,
it's not the colonizer that is explaining anything to you. It's the fact that the truth is there.
oh, so now they're truthful people now. So a
No,
moment ago, just 10 minutes ago, we're talking about how
that is
deceitful
not
they were.
what I'm saying. Let me
That's
let
what
me
I'm saying.
let me finish what I'm trying to explain so you can understand, because I know
Part
you
of
don't
this video.
understand it, but
There's
you'll
going to be
understand it when
some
somebody tells
balancing
you, but you won't
forces at
understand
play.
from a man.
Okay, so why
you
does
don't
he
understand
act
from-
that way when I'm in a relationship with him? Or why do all guys have that pattern? I know some people are getting ready to type some comments down there. Chill out. This video has nothing to do with sexual orientation, with gender, with roles. Okay, we're going to explore how these both energies you have. Okay,
Exactly.
men, women, straight relationships, other relationships, they all have them. These are the dynamics at work. In fact, that's our first
Mom
one of
and
the key
dad.
things down here. You're like, what the heck is this?
She and
Let me
he.
tell you, the concept of polarity. This is not a new concept. In fact, you can see it in many walks of your life. There's up, down, east, west, on, off, hot, cold, and masculine and feminine. Neither is weaker, neither is stronger, neither is better, neither is less. They're just different. In other words, you need the light to appreciate the dark. How do you know north if you don't know south? How do you know up if there's no down? This is where that saying that opposites attract come from. You're not attracted to someone who hates everything that you love. That's a terrible relationship right there. Would you want to go out on a date with that person? Hey, I watched this movie last night. It was one of my all-time favorites. You better stop talking right now. I hate that movie. This is because you're attracted to your polar opposite here. The 80-20 principle comes into play with this. That about, if you're a man, you probably have 80% masculine energy, which again, we'll deep dive on, and 20% feminine energy, okay? And if you're a woman, you probably have 80% feminine energy, 20% masculine energy. Now, these vary person to person, relationship to relationship, super varying degrees right here. You know a lot of really feminine guys, right? Even straight guys that just have more of a feminine energy to them. And guess what they end up with? A really masculine style woman who's more decisive, who has all these other traits we'll get into here. And the opposites attract. It works. Even in non-heterosexual couples, a lot of times these energies are still at play. In other words, you are directly attracted to your counterpart that completes you, okay? And just like a magnet has two sides, and the more polar opposite, that's a stronger attraction right there. It's a stronger charge. That's how you're kind of wired. I have a pretty even split here. I'm not the most macho dude. I've never been super competitive, right? But when it comes to business, when it comes to focus, when it comes to mission, that's where my masculine traits are channeled. But I've learned so much through being around women, the women in my life, even my mom, my sister, my grandma, the women I've dated, been in long-term relationships with. They teach you so much because that's not what you are. And the opposites attract. The counter is what attracts you.
So
Last thing here is to understand that nature is always in balance. It's always fighting back towards even global disasters. That's nature in a way getting back to balance there. What happens if you're attracted to someone who's not the perfect 20 to your 80 and vice versa, right? Well, then that's where the interesting dynamic comes in, okay? And you're always trying to get to that perfect groove right there of, okay, where's the energy in this? And it needs to balance it out. So sometimes this will happen.
80-20
You
is
got a
no
guy
way
with a really masculine energy. It's in a relationship with a woman, with very masculine energy. And they'll butt heads because that's not always compatible. And so they'll be kind of duking it out, normally in arguments and stuff.
That's why.
And so what happens, sometimes in relationships, you abandon your energy and you conform to meet the other person's. And that's actually kind of dangerous because freedom, being free and true to yourself, it's always a higher need than love.
You know you don't
You've
want
seen
no
our other
feminine
relationship
man.
videos, you know that,
Huh?
right?
You know
No one
you
wants
don't-
to be
you know you don't
controlled.
want
No
to
one
be
wants
in
to
a
be
relationship
possessed.
with
No
no
one wants to
feminine
be
man.
dominated over, right? And that's why
But there's
understanding
feminine
this, you
men,
understand why the
right?
other person is
Right,
wired the
but you
way
don't
they
want to
are.
be in a relationship with either
And you
of
can
them.
kind of work on that and see it for the first time.
You
All right,
want
so
you a
about that.
let's
masculine
get
man.
specific
I
here.
don't know.
Let's talk about feminine
that,
and
because it
masculine
depends
energy. This is
on
part 2. Let's
what's
really
his
deep dive.
percentage
Let's
of
start
feminine.
with the masculine
If
first.
he has
Now,
a
the
balanced
masculine
femininity,
is much
then
more
of course I want to be in a
left-brained
relationship with
traditionally,
that, because
right?
that means
The
that
masculine
he's
energy
going to understand
operates
my,
from I think. The feminine energy, on the other
he's
hand,
gonna
is
be
much
able-
more
Listen
right.
to what he's saying.
Operates predominantly from I feel. And
That's
now
right.
this is where neuroscience comes in.
Mhm.
Your brain is two hemispheres, right? Left
Right.
and right. The left hemisphere is much more logic, reasoning, decisiveness, all that stuff, thinking.
Exactly.
The
That's
right
the
side
masculine.
is the creativity, is where all the art.
Feminine.
Okay, those centers
But
line
there's
up.
men
When
who
you're
are
smelling
in
a rose, it's
creativity.
normally on that side, right? So it's much more feeling. How cool is that? Right there is polarity in and of itself. Feminine energy is much more creative, flowing, nurturing, caring, intuitive, community.
Exactly.
You were caring,
Masculine energy
nurturing,
is much
and
more
intuitive
Here's
with your
point
children.
A, there's point B.
at one
Going to go
point.
on this path, right? Just straight to it.
Right?
Drive,
I
focus,
need help taking
compete,
the chicken out.
competitive, practical, and strategic. Another way to look at this, binary and polarity
That's
here,
the
the
masculine.
masculine thinks very much more
There's
outward.
nothing wrong
Where am I going?
with
Where, how am I getting there?
having
Point
to
A,
be
point
that
B,
part,
I see it, I
because-
go. The feminine energy is much more inward. It's feeling. Like a lot of that stuff is more intuitive. So that was just the overview. Now let's go deeper into
Yes,
a few
I'm
examples of what
80%
happens if this is
feminine
balanced,
energy,
if
but
this
I
is
also
imbalanced.
have my father's
Again, to
20%
recap where we're at
that he
here, we
contributes
all
to
have
me.
a masculine and a feminine
No,
energy, just like
keep
there are
it
two
chicken.
sides of the coin. There's night and day, there's up and down. You have that within you.
I
You're
smell
always
it.
attracted to your counterpart, right? Proportionately, that kind of completes you in that way that opposites attract. And that this is always in balance or fighting to achieve balance. And that's where a lot of the conflicts in relationships come from, is not
That's
understanding
where you get
this.
feminine
Most
men at when
masculine
they try to do
suffer in
50-50
relationships because they
masculine
don't
and
understand
feminine.
how to dance with
Look at
the
your
feminine
soft
energy.
man.
This is why, guys with masculine energy like to just hang around each other. They're just chilling with the bros, kind of an escape from the dance of it. It's like if people are speaking Chinese and you speak English, well, even if you understand a little bit, it's nice to just go somewhere where you speak your own native language, isn't it? So a story on this and an example on this to make this more practical for you is I remember in my last relationships, I would always try and fix when she would come with a problem. I was the fixer, right? She'd come
That's
home,
the
long,
masculine.
stressful
That's
day
what
at work,
men do.
talking about how her boss doesn't respect her, coworkers are awful, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm really quick. Well, why don't you quit? Why don't you talk to them about it? Why don't they listen? You should go find another job, right? Fix, 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 solution, solution. Then one day she's like, Clark, I don't need you to coach me. This was me in my early 20s, right? I was like, what? Why not? I read all these books. I have 300 books and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I just want you to listen.
Right, well, go find
Why
you.
are we having this conversation in the first place if you just want to talk and you want me to listen? My masculine energy wanted to
Exactly.
fix linear A, B.
Exactly.
Everything looks like a nail. I have a
That's
hammer.
the
Let me
masculine.
whack it.
If you want somebody
My
to talk
feminine
to,
energy
what
just
you
wanted to
do?
change her
Put the
feeling.
other one
She wanted to
talk.
change her mood, not her mind. Now that's powerful right there. Dudes, if you're in a relationship with a woman who has a feminine energy, change her mood, not her mind. That one little saying there, it's going to save you a few fights, let me tell you. This was in a book I was reading too. It's like, never try to fix your woman because she doesn't want that. And another
No,
thing
don't
that
try
came
to
from it
fix
too, this is
everything.
great advice that I've always applied, is that, and again, there's exceptions to all these, but in these videos, I'm not going to preface everything for 20 seconds. It just gets exhausting. So just understand my intention with this is just to give you the best stuff that works. The saying
tell you,
goes,
If her tire
men,
goes flat, you're going to
how
want you
they
to fix
grow.
that.
It's very different than how women grow. Okay, masculine energies respond differently than feminine energies, and that men grow through challenge.
Exactly.
Okay, growing up, men
I
compete.
admit,
Hey, dude, bet
men
you
are
can't jump over
stronger
that
at
fence.
certain things
And
in the
later
mind
turns
than a
into,
woman
dude,
is.
Bet you $10 you won't go up and ask that girl out.
Yeah, but why
Bet you
don't you
$10
tap
you
into
can't do
your
this.
masculine
Men are
side then?
competing always. That's the
Huh?
masculine energy and
No, huh?
how it manifests.
Why don't you tap into your
Sometimes men
masculine
are like,
side
well,
then when your
my
tire
dad
goes
told me
flat?
this one thing when I was a kid,
Believe
so
me,
I'm gonna
since
prove him wrong.
I've been
Right?
practicing
That
that.
style of
And
motivation,
my
I'm not asking
father,
about
prove them wrong
I didn't
motivation,
realize
is
that
I'm
competitive.
asking just to
actually
do it.
teaching me that.
I'm gonna prove my ex-girlfriend wrong and start.
I felt like I couldn't
Mark
do
Zuckerberg
the
right
things he
there,
was telling
right?
me to do to deal with
So men
my
are always
situation.
going through
Because that's not
competition.
you're not
They're going
masculine.
through
You're supposed to do
challenge.
it.
Mhm.
Just
The
your
feminine energy grows through praise. Okay, remember, change her mood, not
You
her
said
mood.
I'm not supposed to.
Praising your
You're
woman,
not supposed to
praising
do
her
things
freely.
like that.
That's how you get
You're
the feminine
feminine.
energy to really grow and feel supported.
So I'm supposed
So
to
if
be
you're in a
power. I'm
relationship,
supposed to be weak.
Right? Fixing, what is that?
You're supposed
That's
to
a
be in your
challenge.
femininity,
I'm
yeah.
my
Praising,
killed.
what is that? That's
And
our
what-
mood.
Seeing the
So
feminine.
see how
What
the
am I supposed to
masculine and the
do?
feminine
Be my
operates on the
feminine and just
faults
let
there,
the
and why
enemies
there's
come
so
in
much
and do
relationship
whatever
conflict
they
like
want to
that.
me?
Look,
No,
just go
that's
to
where the
Instagram
masculine. That's where
and choose
your
any two
man comes in.
influencers. Go to the
That's
dude's
what
account
you
who's
do.
like a bodybuilder. Look at his comments. You'll see like, dude, looking good, looking jacked, right? You'll hear things like huge, jacked, big, guys ragging on each other when they
That's
show
not
up.
true.
Hey, dude, looking small. You sure you're still going to the gym? Looking
That's-
kind of
that's
small,
the
buddy.
lies
What's
that we
going
do
on? Skip
bad.
leg day? That's the challenge at
That's
play.
why
The
y'all
feminine
should
energy,
uphold it, because
go to their comments. Gorgeous,
y'all think it's
knockout,
your opinion.
slay,
Don't let the
queen,
feminism
just
come out.
all
It's not
praise
true.
from girls. That's how they
Let
respond.
the
One other
feminism
point
come out.
very important for women, or if you have a predominantly feminine energy, a lot of women try to change their man into more feminine,
Exactly.
right? Because they're like,
Exactly.
can you be more like me? And you could say vice versa too, but it's rare on the other end. Like women are going to guys like, I want him to be more sensitive. I want him to open up. I want him to blah, blah, blah. And that's good if you're striving for balance here, right? If he's imbalanced and not communicating, that's one thing. Okay, so what happens? Maybe the guy caves and he starts going towards the middle, right? Or even swinging on the feminine side.
She hates it.
She's actually going to miss that masculine
Exactly.
energy, right?
Exactly.
And so she'll say one thing, but kind of mean another in that sense there.
Exactly.
But
She says she wants
but
you to
what did I
almost,
just
her
say? I just
communications,
said
right?
that.
Is like be like
I
a
like that
woman, be more
balance.
feminine. But if you do and you go so far over
I don't
there,
want him to be
she'll
all
stop
the way
actually being
feminine.
attracted to you because that polarity
Yeah,
is
if he's
gone.
all the way
Sometimes
feminine,
women
we're
are
not
also
gonna get
attracted
along.
to some of these traits here: the drive, the focus, the competitive nature, the linear,
Because
the
I got
strategic, the
logic
practical,
enough to
right?
know
Or sometimes it's funny, like I've been in
If you're
relationships
gonna
and
treat me a certain
what
way,
attracted them to me,
I'm
right?
not gonna stand for
Well,
it.
we'd have to ask her, but she'd probably agree with this. Is like, Clark, you're so ambitious. That's one I've heard a lot. Oh, you're so such a hard worker, right? Like the way you run this business and like you put so much time into this, even a Saturday right now. They're attracted to
Because
that,
he be
right?
in
And they
his
brag
feminine
about it.
energy,
But then 6 months in, what's the thing they're ragging on you for?
and then you
Are you
have
serious?
lower
You're working on
feminine
Saturday?
energy
Oh, all you care about is work, right?
and lower
So balance
masculine.
there. It is
I
funny
talked
though
about
how
this.
sometimes the things you're attracted to
You
about
need
the
to check out
person
my video.
in this stage right here of where it's like polarity, your first meeting, right? Eventually starts to almost repel you. Let's look at this too. Remember, we talked briefly about how balancing forces are always at play here, and that these always need to remain like a homeostatic balance between, everything.
Mhm.
Globally, as a consciousness, it's said that we're a very, well, actually, let me ask you, what do you think we are? Globally, are we a
Masculine.
very feminine society or are we a very masculine society? Look at the
Masculine.
current state of the world. We're a very masculine society,
Mhm.
right? We don't get along very well. We're blowing stuff up. War dominates,
See,
right?
he admits.
So most of the problems in the world right now are coming from a over masculine society. And so that's why conversations like this, videos like this, my whole channel is definitely more, I'd say it's more balanced, but definitely in terms of self-development, it's right here in the middle, leaning towards the feminine
There
side.
you go,
Typically
D.
masculine guys are not seeking out, how to do shadow work, right? If you are, that means you're balanced in the middle and you're integrated, which is awesome. But they're going to like business content who drop some, self-development advice, and that's how they get it. I don't want to touch that spiritual stuff, right? And I get it. That's how I was early on too. It was only when I checked myself and said, whoa, the other side of the coin there, you have like the East and the West. The Eastern spiritual camp right here, which is all like manifest and, subconscious mind and meditating and slowing down, right? And being happy and present and grounded, versus the Western self-development over here has a very masculine charge to it, doesn't it? Earn more in your business, right? How to, get followers online, all this stuff, right? Productivity, get more done, goals, how to wake up at 5 a.m. That's all masculine drive right there. Now, that's good for like linear success or building a business, right? But that'll just leave you depleted and drained because you're not in balance here, right? You following this? So back to the current state of our world. Where do you think that is right now? Very masculine, okay? And imbalance too. And so how are we going to change it? With more of this, more competitive, more crushing. I'm not going political. I'm not going with hot button issues here. We keep it pretty like vanilla on this channel. No one wants to hear my politics, especially not my girlfriend, but she hears them anyway. I've always approached it like, I don't care what you believe. I don't care, whatever. If you're here, we get along, we're friends. Some people are talking about toxic masculinity. You hear that word a lot, right? Or that phrase a lot. that it's men who mess everything up, and men are so bad, and men do all the wars, and men do all the crimes, and men. So naturally, the natural conclusion of that is like, okay, well then men are the problem.
I'm gonna put
And I don't think that's true at all.
Okay.
I think an imbalance of masculine energy is the problem. And I think a lack of
Where's
role
the
models
sticker?
that have an integrated masculine and feminine energy, right? That's what they need. Masculinity is not the problem. It's almost a lack of it that is. If we were really balanced, everyone too, you'd have a much better society, you'd raise better children, and the future would change. And so for you, practically here, you know, if you feel like you're more here and less here, explore the other side. It's going to help your relationship, but more importantly, it's going to help you. And why I say more importantly is because where do all relationships
Prevent
start?
you from being a
How can you
moron.
give love if you don't have it for yourself? How can you attract the 10 if internally you're not a 10, right? If you're not giving the best of you, what's really the reason for them to stay around? It's going to get exhausting after a couple of years, right? You can only love someone so much, but if you're carrying them for their whole life, I mean, no one's going to, that's unfair too. Relationships are a place you go to give, not a place you go to get. So when you recognize these in yourself, you can work on it. You can balance it out. And it's okay too if you're in this camp of like, wow, I'm overly feminine. Maybe take on some of this. Same with the dudes out there, right? I'm overly masculine.
Pause
Take
it for
on
me,
some of that, balance it out. Again, all relationships start with you. So if you're looking to create the best version of yourself, so you can make relationships awesome, so you can attract one, right? So you can get the best shot at like attracting the person that you know you deserve. Click down below. Check out our application for our metamorphic coaching program. We talk about how to create the 2.0 version of yourself. Really raise yourself up and shift into that. So it's not fake or vague, it's just a natural state of being of who you are. And that's a 6-week process. I'm working with you personally, one-on-one, every single day for 6 weeks. You got me in your corner there. So that I love doing it. Love working with our students over there. Really cool community too. We get together in a small group and we talk about ideas like this. So that's in the link below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, stop settling, start living.
You get it? It's all about relationship.
The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. We're
It's
going
all
to be doing a
about-
detailed breakdown of this book, and by the end of this video, you're going to have a super clear understanding of how you can use the laws of human nature to live a better life and avoid toxic relationships. We are all social creatures, and knowing why people do what they do is one of the most important tools you can have. We're going to go over why parts of our brains affect our decision making, how to detach from your
Hold on, let me turn
emotions,
this off.
dealing with narcissists, toxic characteristics of people to avoid, how to look.
I'm sorry.
So let me ask you, when you go out, before you were married, when you went out on dates, who paid?
I didn't go out on dates like that.
Right, but when you did,
I
who
met some
paid?
guys and you know, sometimes they would pay. Don't pull that. Sometimes they would help. They'll pay.
Wait a minute, what do you mean they would help?
It was
Just
a
say they
different
paid,
girl.
right, bro. Just say they paid.
No, it wasn't like that for me.
What was it like?
Why you rip it?
No, why did you rip it? You did this. You did all this. I don't know why you did all this. This is the thing. This is the thing. How did this happen?
I tried to put it on and it curled up.
Oh. Hold on, Dee. Go ahead and talk.
Because, like, Barry, you know, whenever you went out, you know that the man paid, because that's the feminine side in you who said that the man should pay, and the masculine side of him say that when he takes a woman out on a date, he's supposed to pay. If things were balanced and equal, you would have paid your own way, he would have paid his own way.
You messed it up. I don't know why you didn't wait.
If things weren't equal, then when it comes to paying bills and stuff like that, then all of a sudden you want the man to be masculine.
Hold on,
You're
Dee.
not worried about tapping into his femininity when it comes to paying bills.
This is what happened.
And you don't want to be masculine when it comes to paying bills.
I don't know what you want me to do.
You want the man to do all of that.
It's all torn. It's fucking torn.
So, but I'll wait for you to return.
Okay. This is crazy. This is really, really crazy. I don't know why you did this. You expect me to be able to do something with this? You tore it. Because you was rushing and you didn't want to wait for mommy to fix it for you. You didn't want to wait for me to fix it. You just went on ahead and tore it yourself. Look at that.
That's the feminine side.
Huh?
That's being feminine.
What's in feminine? It's torn. Why did you do all this? We don't have anything now. Get that downstairs now. Why would you do something like that? That's crazy. That's crazy. Hold on. Let me finish what I'm doing and I'll come see you. All right, D. Hold on. I'm back, D. He doesn't even know what an occultist is, and he's calling me an occultist. When he can find the definition of what occultist means, and that it doesn't mean what was put out the same way, like they want you to think that a man is supposed to be all masculine and a woman is supposed to be all feminine.
Yes.
Ain't no way. That's not our biology.
It is. Actually,
It's not our biology. It's our physical biology, but it's not our energies.
But it is.
It's not your energy. It's not your energy. Your energy has to be a balance of the two. If your energy is not the balance of the two, then we are not going to be able to communicate.
So that's what I'm saying. So then why when it comes to something physical to be done, do you guys like to go get the man to do it?
I'm sorry.
Why not
get the man to do it if he's tall enough to reach on the top shelf so I don't hurt myself.
What about opening jars?
I open jars on my own now.
Paying for
after asking, I didn't just ask males to open jars for me. I used to ask my mom all the time.
You were a kid at the time too.
Huh?
You were a kid.
I'm talking about I wasn't a kid at the time until I figured out how to easily open a jar better. which took
If you want
probably
your
my
mom to open the jar, you should have
young
learned how to
adult
do it.
years. My young adult years. You see what I'm saying?
What young adult? How old were you?
My young adult years to figure out how to fix the.
How old were you? Your young adult years.
What, 1920? 20?
You know how to open a jar by that time.
No, I learned tricks to opening a jar. I learned tricks to opening up a tight jar, and it became easy. It became easy once I learned. But what I'm saying is, it's not like the man said, it's not about gender roles. We're talking about energies that affect the way you move in life. It has nothing to do with strength and weakness in that aspect. It has more to do with, yes, maybe I have 20% of my dad, or maybe I need to get 20% of my dad, tap into that 20%. And balance myself out so I can have a decent relationship with a man. Or communication with men.
Men don't want masculine women.
That's not a masculine woman. A woman who's 80% female and she taps into her 20%, that's not masculine female. That's a balanced out female, in case you didn't watch the
video. But it is. But it is masculine.
It's not a masculine female.
Anytime a woman displays any masculine trait, they're showing themselves to be masculine.
No, that's not. Yeah. So if a man is showing a little bit of feminine traits, he's got to be feminine. No, it's a balance. He's a balance of that masculine and feminine when he can empathize with a female, when he can sit down and communicate, or if he's a teacher or he's teaching something or he's showing people something, that's feminine. Hold on.
See, what the problem is, women always want men to display femininity. You never hear men say, "Oh, I want my woman to be 20% masculine." You'll never hear that from men, and that's coming from.
No, I'm not saying that.
You don't always say, "I want my man to listen. I want to be more sensitive." You never hear a man say, "I want my woman to be stronger. I want her to go out and be able to change the tire. I want her." You don't hear that from men. You only hear that from women. I want my man to be sensitive. I want him to be able to listen. I want him to be able to understand. That's what feminism. That's what feminism. That's what women do.
Not necessarily. There's men that are like that too.
No, they're not.
Yes,
I've never heard a man say, "I want my woman to go change the tire."
There's some men like that.
I never heard a man say,
"I want you to learn to change the tire."
I never heard a man pass a jar to a woman and say, "Open this one." I've never heard a man do that. Here, baby, tap into your 20%. Tap into your 20% of masculinity and open this jar for me.
But it doesn't mean it never happened, D. That's what you got to come to the reality.
I've never heard it. Have you ever heard that?
Household to know if a man did
Light bear, but have you ever heard of that? Have you ever seen a man pass a woman his jar and say, "Here, open this for me"?
I'm sure it happened.
No, I'm sure it hasn't.
I'm sure it happened.
I'm sure it hasn't.
But that doesn't mean that he's weak or feminine. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Well, what do you think it means?
I just think it means that he just has a problem opening a jar. Maybe his hands are hurting. His hands are weak. We don't know the situation. Okay. I mean, maybe he's got carpal tunnel. Maybe
arthritis or something, right?
Yeah, anything could be happening.
But light bear, we're not talking about those type of extremes, though.
But you have to take that in consideration. You don't know.
No, but light bear, come on. If a man is normal, strength, normal.
He's asking for help from a woman, right?
That's mask. That's not masculine.
What if he can't drive because he broke his leg?
Okay, but see, that's different. That's physical. That's physical.
Okay.
Obstructions
So
to the
he has
reason why.
to
If he
energy and rely on somebody.
right, but if he's not injured in any type of way, it wouldn't happen that way. And when he's
All right,
injured like that puts him more towards being
our natural biology. You're just not going to get around it. And you're not going to be able to say that we're only one thing. We're not one thing. The society wants you to think that you're either or, but you are 20%. You're a certain percentage of the man that brought you into this world. If you're a female, you're like 20%. And you're like 20% of your mom. I mean, how do you think you get all of her characteristics, her looks? Can you deny that?
Right, but that has nothing to do with masculinity.
It does have a lot.
Or femininity. It has nothing to do with
that. That is a telltale sign that you do have some of your mother in you.
That's biology. That comes because of
biology. Thank you. I'm not arguing against biology.
It has nothing to do with
I'm not arguing. It has to do a lot with energy, because you're going to have your mom's energy as well. A certain percentage of it that you need to tap into to be successful in life. If you want to be unsuccessful in life, okay, go ahead and stick with the masculine.
Right, but you don't want to tap into that masculinity when it comes time to change the tire.
Okay,
you don't want to tap into that masculinity when it comes time to open the jar. You don't want to tap into it then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, let me shut down shop today. Thank you guys for being here. Yah Israel, thank you. Yapa, thank you. DOD, oh, my Mr. Buddy, Mr. Pirate Brain. Thank you guys. Thank you all that's in the shadows, in the clouds, in the spiritual world, in the air. Thank you guys for being here.
All right, sister. That was a great live stream.
Turn people into almost. Oh my goodness, I hadn't heard it all.
See?
Now that might be some people's objective. My objective is to turn people back straight to what they're supposed to be. You're born a female, enjoy your experience as a female, but become balanced and have a balanced relationship with the opposite.
Except for when it comes time to paying bills or changing tires or opening doors or fixing something in the house.
No, I want a man to do all that for me.
Right, but I'm saying, but why don't you tap into your masculinity during those times is what I'm asking.
I do.
No,
I think it's fun for me to experience other things like that. Right. Painting, I painted my children's walls. I did prime my daughter's wall. It took a lot of work. I painted my own porch. I did a video showing you my house, and I painted my own porch. I was in the military. I've worked jobs that were majority masculine.
There you go.
And so I went to school, finished college, and used my logic a lot. So I don't know. I live in a masculine world where I was influenced, but I still held tight to the 80% feminine I have. You know, I'm not trying to change anybody. I want people to realize the lies that make you want to think that it's not normal for you to have your mom and dad. They're trying to wipe your mom and dad out from you, from the unseen realm as well. You should have a relationship with your mom and dad within yourself. And, you know, they break the family down and they want to break your family within you down because it took your mom and dad to make you. So peace and love, everyone. Always remember true love, real peace, the higher self within you, the soul. Until next time, peace. And thank you so much, DOD, for being here. I can't wait till you share your video with me so that I can come on your video again.
Sounds good.
Whenever you text me for the next one.
Okay, I will.
All right. Peace and love.